We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
And welcome back to Liberty Nation Radio, heard coast to coast on the Radio American Network. I remain your host, Mark Angelides. Very fortunate to have with us this week Liberty Nation's national security correspondent, Mr. Pentagon himself, Dave Patterson. Dave, thanks for being with us.
Great to be with you, Mark.
So, Dave, you wrote a fantastic article this last weekend about military transports for deporting illegal migrant criminals. And so I read it, and then I had to go and watch Con Air because it's a fantastic movie. It's got a bit of everything in it. It's a true hero story, but also because I felt it was quite pertinent to what you were writing about. Could you give us the background on this, please?
On Con Air with
No, we can talk about Con. I'm happy to.
With Cage.
Most people might enjoy it.
Well, you know, it was obviously they want to get rid of these criminals. They want to these illegal aliens who also have significant criminal records and are many of them very violent. And as we're seeing in the press about the murders and so forth. So what are you going to do? I mean, are you going to put these people in, first class, business class? I guess there is no first class anymore much, and put them in business class and, run the risk of having them get very irritated when they can't have the fourth free drink? No, you're gonna put them in shackles, and you're going to put them in a military airplane, so you have complete control and safety, not only for the crews but for the people being deported. And now one would argue, of course, it's more expensive. Naturally, it's more expensive because you have military airplanes that have a much higher operational cost. And however, you have to, weigh the cost benefit. I mean, you have complete control and safety. And so I think that was the thinking behind using C-17s and C-130s.
Yeah, so you wrote in your article that it's about using the C-17s. It's about $3,900 per person, and then, but then on a commercial thing that would cost about $1,200. So there is a price increase there. But you're right about the safety aspect, because these are, as you rightly point out, these are not just criminals for crossing the border illegally. This isn't somebody's, second cousin, twice removed, third friend's roommate who just, happened to cross the border because they thought, well, school's here a bit better for the kids that they're hoping to have in the future. These are people who have committed criminal acts after entering the country, many of them violent, many of them connected to gangs. And just imagine what a mess that would be if a few of them got together and decided, you know what, let's not go back. Let's do something with this plane. That could be a disaster on the magnitude of 9/11, theoretically.
No, that's absolutely right. And we have experience with that. Corey Smith wrote a very good article for Liberty Nation News, in which he had an account of Haitians who were sent back to Haiti, and halfway through the flight, they found out that they were going back to Haiti instead of wherever they thought they were going, and they trashed the airplane. They just literally ripped it to pieces, and it was basically a riot in the back. And it was not just frightening but dangerous for the air crews. And so you don't want to have that happen. And consequently, there are some nuances here to using military airplanes. The military flies what are called locals, flagpole flights, in order to get currency and keep their pilots proficient in its local training. Well, these flights that also provide an international aspect to the flight. It's basically you're fulfilling a useful purpose. Not only that, but you're getting training. In some cases, you get training in air refueling if you have longer flights, like one recently to India. So you're kind of getting a twofer, you're doing a useful job for Homeland Defense, and you're getting training at the same time. Of course, all flying is training in one form or fashion. Some is more extensive than others, but nonetheless, it is like I say, you get, you fulfill a good purpose and you get useful training. And so it's not all downside here in terms of the cost of the airplane.
Yeah, I mean, the people involved would have to have training at some point, so may as well lump it in and save a bit of cash on the way. And it's not as though, I don't think everybody really understands what like a C-17 is, for example. It's basically just for those not know, it's a cargo plane with a big open middle area and then wall seats along the side that you kind of strap into. And it's not the most comfortable flight. I mean, I've taken several of them myself. I'm sure, Dave, you've taken scores of those. But it's not supposed to be a luxury flight home, right? That's not the idea behind it.
And you also have the capacity not only to have people along the sides, but they have mid-row stanchions that go down the middle with seats on either side, and it can carry 102 fully kitted out, as you would say, paratroopers, and designed to carry an M1A1 tank. Goes
or plenty of jeeps down the middle. Everybody tries and steals the best place to sleep. Yeah,
right. and it's quite a remarkable airplane. Actually, it's air refuelable and goes without air refueling goes 2,400 miles, carrying 172,000 pounds. That's what Boeing says here. Yes, and it can land in 3,000 feet unimproved runways. I mean, what's not to like about that? And so it's a very versatile airplane, and but it does cost money. Not as much as a C-5, for example, but it does. I would question the number the media is using, which is 28,500 flight hour. I don't know where that came from, other than the media asked somebody, and it must be because the actual reimbursable cost is what U.S. Transcom, who through Air Mobility Command operates these airplanes, their reimbursable cost for non-government, even that's the highest for non-government clients and customers, is about 16,404. So it's significantly different. So I don't know who the Department of Homeland Security is talking to, but they might want to go directly to the provider.
Yeah, there's on the cost and benefits analysis here, and I know it's a little bit in the weeds, but it's quite clear you don't want a civilian charter flight dealing with this, because it's dangerous. The risk is far too high, not just of crashing the plane, but the risk to hostage taking, the air crew, things like that, and of course the damage to the plane, as pointed out by the recent Haiti flight. But I mean, there's another option if people don't want the actual military involved. Now, there was a recent poll on this, by the way, and I believe it was CBS YouGov. I might be wrong on that, but I think it was CBS YouGov, and it said 30% of Americans don't think that the U.S. military should be involved in the deportation of illegal immigrants. Now, that's not to say that it's not widely supported. In fact, it's over 80% support for deporting those illegal immigrants who have committed violent crimes in the U.S. So it's over 80% support, but they don't support. That's 30% don't support using the military for this. So that there is an alternative, but it's just not a very cost-effective one. Is you get C-17 type planes or C-130 type planes under civilian ownership, and then have essentially mercenaries stock them. And I don't think anybody wants to see that, because A, the cost is going to be ridiculously high for something like that, and B, you don't have as much operational control from a governmental point of view, which is what you really want on these things. You want the people safely in their seats as soon as they leave, as soon as they get on those planes. And then once they've disembarked, only then are they out of charge. And I don't think that's ever going to happen with like a soldier of fortune outfit.
And no, and as you can see, I mean, these folks, when they go on the airplane, I mean, they're shackled, and as they should be. And so, I mean, they're criminals. This is not a luxury flight, and nor was it intended to be. And so, but I think, the vast majority of these folks, the initial really bad actors, have been dealt with, and I think we're up to probably well over 6,000 of them now having been deported. And it may be more reasonable to, now that you're deporting others who don't have criminal records, but are I'd say don't have criminal records. Yeah, they do have criminal records. They broke the law coming into the United States. So, ergo, you're a criminal and you have a criminal record. But the ones who are not particularly violent. Although, we do have this problem of all the getaways and all the people that under the Biden administration they failed to sequester, and they failed to take charge of, and they're out in the cities and neighborhoods, and who knows where they are and what they're doing. So we do have that problem.
Indeed. Well, we'll be back with Dave Patterson after this short break. But as far as the deportations go, if I may, I think it's too late to put the deportation bunny back in the box, Dave. We'll be back in a moment.
We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.